I always trusted Emily, or maybe I wanted to believe that I could trust her. We have this beautiful home, a sprawling estate that screams success and stability. Every corner of our house is meticulously decorated, reflecting Emily's exquisite taste. Our bedroom, with its king-size bed and silk sheets, is our sanctuary. At least it used to be. Emily is the kind of woman who turns heads. Her laugh, vibrant and intoxicating, fills every room we enter. We host parties frequently, our home often buzzing with friends and colleagues. Everyone adores her, and I can't help but feel a pang of pride whenever she's by my side. But lately something's off. She's distant, distracted. Last Thursday, after a long day at the office, I came home early. Emily wasn't expecting me. I heard her laughter coming from the living room, followed by her voice, low and conspiratorial. I quietly moved closer, my heart pounding. I wouldn't mind if my husband got himself a young mistress since I don't deny myself such privileges, she said to her friend Lisa. Her words hit me like a sledgehammer. I froze. My mind raced, a storm of emotions crashing through me. Disbelief, anger, hurt. How long had this been going on? I leaned against the wall, struggling to steady my breath. Emily, my Emily, was unfaithful. The realization felt like a betrayal of the worst kind. Emily hung up, still laughing. I entered the room, forcing a smile. "Hey, Em," I said, my voice betraying none of the turmoil inside me. She turned, her smile faltering for a split second. "Mark, you're home early," she said, moving towards me. Her kiss felt cold. Dinner was a charade. I watched her closely. Every gesture, every word she spoke. My mind replayed her conversation with Lisa. She chatted about mundane things, our plans for the weekend, the new restaurant in town. I nodded along, my appetite gone. Later, in our bedroom, I lay next to her, the distance between us palpable. She fell asleep quickly, but I stayed awake, staring at the ceiling. My thoughts churned. I needed proof, something concrete. I couldn't confront her with just an overheard conversation. She was too clever, too manipulative. She'd twist my words, make me doubt my own sanity. The next day, I called in a favor from a friend in the tech industry. By evening, our home was rigged with discreet surveillance cameras. I felt a pang of guilt, but quickly brushed it aside. I needed to know the truth. Over the next few days, I watched hours of footage. Emily's behavior was suspicious. She had secret phone calls, hushed conversations, and unexplained absences. I felt a mixture of rage and heartbreak. This wasn't the woman I married. One evening, I followed her. She met a man at a cozy little cafe. They sat close, their conversation intimate. My blood boiled as I watched them laugh and flirt. This was my proof. Emily was cheating on me. I returned home, my mind set. This marriage was over, but I wouldn't just leave. No, I would make her pay. She thought she was smart, but she had no idea who she was dealing with. I would outsmart her and make her regret ever betraying me. The day after I installed the cameras, I wake up feeling like a man on a mission. Every creak of the floorboards, every distant sound feels amplified, as if the house itself is conspiring against me. I check the cameras obsessively. My heart pounds with each new recording, desperate for some sign, some confirmation of what I already know. Emily's behavior is as calculated as ever. She maintains her facade with effortless charm. We have breakfast together, and she talks about our upcoming charity event, her tone bright and airy. I nod along, playing the role of the attentive husband, while my mind races through our secret footage. Every time she leaves the house, I scrutinize her movements. One morning, Emily's phone rings. I'm in the kitchen, pretending to read the newspaper, but I'm actually watching her on a live feed. She glances at her phone, hesitates, then answers. "Hi, John," she says. My blood runs cold. John. The same John who's been hanging around our social circle. He's more than just a friend. He's her lover. Emily's tone is flirtatious, almost breathless. "Can't wait to see you tonight," she coos. "I'll be free after dinner." My fists clench. Every word she utters is a knife twisting in my gut. The days blur into a relentless cycle of surveillance and anger. I watch as Emily goes about her routine, her lies becoming more elaborate. She's meticulous, covering her tracks with a skill that makes me shiver with both admiration and rage. I see her meeting John at various spots around town, a cozy cafe, a posh hotel bar, an upscale boutique. Each rendezvous is more intimate than the last, their touches and glances filled with a passion that was once reserved for me. One evening, while Emily is out, I decide to dig deeper. I rummage through her things, her drawers, her closet, even her phone. My hands are steady, but my mind is racing. I find nothing incriminating, just the usual assortment of clothes and accessories. The only thing that stands out is a tiny folded note in her jewelry box. I unfold it cautiously. It's a love note from John, detailing plans for a romantic getaway. My heart hammers as I read it. This is the proof I need. That night, when Emily comes home, I confront her. I'm calm, controlled, but there's a storm brewing inside me. "Emily," I say, my voice steady, "we need to talk." She looks up from her book, a smile playing on her lips. "What's wrong?" I place the note on the coffee table. "I found this. Care to explain?" Her face turns pale. She opens her mouth to speak, but no words come out. I can see her scrambling for a plausible story. "Mark, she starts, but I cut her off. "Save it, I know everything." I watch as her eyes widen, the realization hitting her. The charade is over. I've seen the videos, the texts, the notes, it's all there. Emily's composure cracks. She starts to cry, her sobs a mix of desperation and guilt. "Mark, please, it's not what you think." "I don't," I interrupt. "I don't want to hear your excuses. I trusted you, and you betrayed me." The confrontation is raw and emotional. Emily tries to salvage what's left, but her pleas fall on deaf ears. I've made up my mind. This marriage is over. I decide to meet with a divorce attorney. I need to be strategic, to use every bit of evidence I've gathered to my advantage. The lawyer, a sharp woman named Jessica, reviews the evidence. Her eyes widen as she goes through the recordings in the note. "You've got a strong case," she says, looking at me with a mix of sympathy and admiration. "We'll make sure Emily pays for her betrayal." Over the next few days, the house feels different. There's a tense silence where laughter and conversation used to be. Emily is on edge, trying to act normal, but it's obvious she's uncomfortable. She spends hours on the phone, probably trying to find a way to spin this situation in her favor. I start preparing for the inevitable trial. I gather all the evidence, videos, texts, and the love note. Every piece is a testament to Emily's deceit. I want the court to see her for who she really is, a woman who betrayed her husband in the worst possible way. One evening, Emily approaches me cautiously. "Mark, can we talk?" she asks, her voice trembling. I look at her, my heart hardening. "What is there to talk about?" I ask. "I'm willing to settle this out of court," she says. "I don't want to drag this through the legal system. It's messy, and it's hurting both of us." I consider her offer. Part of me wants to avoid a public spectacle, but another part of me wants to ensure that she faces the consequences of her actions. "Too late for that," I say. "You've made your choices, and now you'll have to deal with the consequences." Emily's face falls. She knows this is the end. As she walks away, I feel a sense of grim satisfaction. I'm about to teach her a lesson she'll never forget. This isn't just about revenge, it's about justice. The days following our confrontation are a whirlwind of activity. Emily is relentless in her attempts to convince me to settle. She begs, pleads, and even resorts to emotional manipulation. I refuse to give in. I'm determined to see this through, to make sure she understands the gravity of her betrayal. Jessica, my attorney, is a rock. She's efficient, no nonsense, and has a sharp eye for detail. We meet in her sleek, minimalist office, surrounded by towering bookshelves and the faint aroma of freshly brewed coffee. She reviews the evidence with meticulous care, offering advice and strategy. "Mark," she says, flipping through the recordings, "this is solid evidence. Emily's attempts to cover her tracks are transparent. We'll use this to our advantage." I nod. I want this to be clear. I want her to see the full extent of her actions. Jessica's eyes narrow with determination. "Understood. We'll make sure the court gets the full picture." Preparation for the trial is intense. I spend hours with Jessica, going over each piece of evidence, rehearsing my statements, and anticipating Emily's arguments. Every detail is scrutinized, every possible angle considered. I'm meticulous, driven by a need for justice. Emily, on the other hand, seems to be unraveling. Her once calm demeanor gives way to panic and frustration. She's constantly on the phone with her lawyer, her face drawn and tired. The atmosphere at home is charged with tension. I feel like a stranger in my own house, and every interaction with Emily is fraught with underlying hostility. One night, Emily's phone rings. She's in the living room, speaking in hushed tones. I'm sitting in the darkened study, watching her through the surveillance camera feed. Her conversation is urgent, her tone frantic. "I need more time," she says. "This isn't going the way I planned." I don't need to hear more. The evidence is clear. She's scrambling, trying to buy time or find a loophole. It's a pitiful sight, and it only strengthens my resolve. The day of the trial arrives, and the courtroom is a hive of activity. I sit in the front row, my heart pounding as I wait for the proceedings to begin. The courtroom is filled with people, lawyers, reporters, and spectators. I see Emily and her lawyer, both looking nervous. Her lawyer is a slick, smooth talker, his demeanor designed to charm and persuade. Emily's eyes meet mine briefly, filled with a mixture of fear and defiance. Jessica and I review our strategy one last time. "Stick to the facts," she advises. "Stay composed. Let the evidence speak for itself." As the trial begins, I'm struck by the formality of it all, the polished wood of the judge's bench, the high ceilings, and the hushed murmurs of the crowd. The gavel sounds and the judge calls the court to order. I take a deep breath, ready to face this head-on. The first day is intense. Emily's lawyer, Richard, presents his case with calculated charm, painting Emily as a victim of misunderstanding. He's smooth, persuasive, and attempts to undermine my credibility. His arguments are clever, designed to cast doubt on my character and intentions. I feel the sting of his words, but I remain focused. Jessica counters with precision. She presents the evidence: videos of Emily and John, the love note, and the detailed timeline of Emily's infidelities. Each piece is methodically introduced, painting a clear picture of betrayal. The courtroom is silent as the evidence is displayed on the screens. I see Emily's face redden, her composure slipping as the truth is laid bare. When it's my turn to testify, I feel the weight of the moment. I sit in the witness stand, my palms sweating. The questions are probing, but I answer them with honesty and clarity. I recount the discovery of the affair, the evidence I collected, and the emotional impact of Emily's betrayal. My voice is steady, but inside I'm a maelstrom of emotions. Emily watches intently from her seat. I catch glimpses of her face pale, her hands clenched. She looks both vulnerable and defiant. The trial is taking a toll on her, and I can see the cracks in her armor. The days drag on, each session adding to the tension. I notice the growing frustration in Emily's eyes, her attempts to maintain her dignity despite the mounting evidence. She occasionally glances at me, a mixture of anger and pleading in her gaze. I refuse to look away, determined to see this through to the end. Jessica and I review the evidence repeatedly, ensuring that every detail is perfect. The preparation is exhaustive, but I know it's necessary. I want to be thorough, to make sure there are no loopholes that Emily can exploit. One evening, as I'm leaving the courthouse, I run into Emily in the parking lot. She's standing by her car, her expression tired and defeated. She looks at me with a mix of resignation and defiance. "Mark," she says, her voice barely above a whisper, "this isn't what I wanted. I never meant for it to come to this." I look at her, my resolve unshaken. "You made your choices, Emily. This is the consequence of your actions." She turns away, her shoulders slumping. I feel a pang of sympathy, but it's overshadowed by my determination for justice. I head home, the weight of the trial heavy on my shoulders, but my resolve remains firm. As the trial progresses, the tension builds. Emily's attempts to shift blame or discredit me only strengthen my resolve. I know that the truth is on my side, and I'm determined to see it through. Every day I face the courtroom with a sense of purpose, driven by the need to hold Emily accountable for her betrayal. The trial is far from over, but each passing day brings me closer to the resolution I seek. The evidence is overwhelming, and I'm confident that the truth will prevail. I stay focused, knowing that the end is in sight and that justice will soon be served. The trial reaches its climax, and the tension in the courtroom is palpable. Each day feels like an eternity, the relentless grind of testimony and cross-examinations weighing heavily on me. I am consumed by a singular focus: to ensure that Emily's betrayal is fully exposed and that justice is served. Emily's defense is scrambling. Richard, her lawyer, is pulling out every trick in the book, attempting to discredit my evidence and make me appear vindictive. His arguments are slick, designed to cast doubt on my motives. He challenges the authenticity of the surveillance footage, suggesting it could be manipulated. He questions my character, painting me as a bitter and vengeful husband. Each attack is a blow, but I refuse to be swayed. Jessica, my attorney, counters with precision. Her arguments are calm and measured, her demeanor unshakable. She's a force of nature, dismantling Richard's claims piece by piece. Mark's evidence is consistent and reliable, she asserts, her voice steady. We have multiple sources corroborating his account. As we reach the final stretch, the courtroom atmosphere is charged with anticipation. The judge calls a recess, and I step outside, trying to clear my head. I'm greeted by a horde of reporters, their questions rapid-fire and intrusive. I dodge their inquiries, my thoughts focused on the upcoming confrontation. Back in the courtroom, the final arguments commence. Emily's defense presents their closing statements, and Richard paints a dramatic picture. He describes Emily as a woman caught in a web of circumstances beyond her control, a victim of misunderstanding and emotional turmoil. His performance is almost theatrical, designed to pull at the jury's heartstrings. Emily sits beside him, her face a mask of desperation. Her eyes dart to me frequently, searching for some sign of leniency. I remain resolute, my gaze fixed straight ahead. There's no turning back now. When it's my turn, I rise and address the court. My heart races, but I focus on remaining composed. Your Honor, I begin, the evidence presented clearly shows Emily's betrayal. I've shown videos, texts, and personal accounts that paint a clear picture of infidelity. I recount the emotional toll the affair has taken on me. I describe the pain of discovering Emily's betrayal and the impact it's had on my life. This isn't about revenge, I say, my voice steady but firm. This is about accountability. Emily's actions have had serious consequences, and she needs to face them. I see Emily's face redden, her fingers clutching the armrest of her chair. Her expression is a mix of anger and shame. I don't flinch. I continue with my statement, determined to drive home the point that justice must prevail. As I conclude, I catch a glimpse of Emily's hands trembling. Her composure is shattered, and I can see the cracks in her facade. Her defenses are crumbling, and it's evident that she's struggling to hold it together. Jessica's closing arguments are powerful. She emphasizes the integrity of the evidence and the credibility of my testimony. Mark has presented a compelling case, she asserts. Emily's attempts to deflect responsibility are transparent. The truth is clear, and it's time for the court to hold her accountable. The final statements are followed by the judge's instructions to the jury. The room falls into a heavy silence as they deliberate. I sit in the gallery, my nerves frayed. Each tick of the clock feels like a drumbeat, each minute stretching into an eternity. The jury returns and the courtroom erupts in hushed murmurs. The judge calls for order, and the verdict is read. We find the defendant, Emily Sanders, guilty of marital infidelity and emotional distress. A wave of relief washes over me. Emily's face pales as the words sink in. She slumps in her seat, her head hanging low. I feel a mixture of satisfaction and sadness. This is the end of a chapter, but it's also a painful reminder of the betrayal I've endured. Emily's sentencing is announced. She faces significant financial penalties and must attend counseling. The court proceedings are over, but the emotional fallout lingers. I see Emily being led out of the courtroom, her head still bowed. She avoids making eye contact, her demeanor defeated. As I leave the courthouse, I'm met by a flood of reporters. Their questions are relentless, but I brush them off, my mind focused on the road ahead. I feel a sense of closure, but also a lingering sadness. The trial has exposed the truth, but it's also been a harsh reminder of the personal cost of betrayal. That evening, I sit alone in my study, reflecting on the past few weeks. The room is silent, the weight of the trial settling heavily on my shoulders. The house feels empty, devoid of the warmth and familiarity it once held. I look at the photographs of Emily and me, now tainted by the memories of her betrayal. I know that this is just the beginning of a new chapter. The road to healing will be long, but I'm ready to face it. I've fought for justice, and I've won. Now I need to focus on rebuilding my life and finding a path forward. As I sit in the quiet of my study, I feel a mix of relief and apprehension. The trial is over, but the emotional journey is far from complete. I look out the window, the city lights twinkling in the distance. There's a sense of finality, but also the promise of new beginnings. The days after the trial are a mix of relief and introspection. The court case is over, but the real challenge is just beginning. I need to rebuild my life, find a new path, and heal from the emotional wreckage Emily left behind. The house feels like a mausoleum. The walls that once held our laughter now echo with silence. I move through the rooms like a ghost, touching the remnants of a life that no longer exists. Each photograph I pass, every memento, feels like a cruel reminder of what was lost. I decide to start fresh. I need a change, a way to distance myself from the past. I put the house on the market, its pristine rooms now a symbol of betrayal rather than comfort. I clear out Emily's belongings, packing them away with a mix of detachment and sadness. Each item is a fragment of a life that's now shattered. I hire a real estate agent, a no-nonsense woman named Claire. She's efficient, with a sharp eye for detail. She guides me through the process of preparing the house for sale. We'll stage it to appeal to buyers, she says. Fresh paint, new furnishings. We want it to look inviting. Claire's professionalism helps me stay focused. We work together to make the house look perfect. Every room spotless, every corner meticulously arranged. I appreciate her no-frills approach. It's a welcome distraction from the emotional turmoil. As the house is being prepared for sale, I turn my attention to my own needs. I seek therapy, hoping to make sense of the emotional chaos. My therapist, Dr. Harris, is compassionate and insightful. Our sessions are intense but cathartic. I talk about the pain of betrayal, the shock of the trial, and the uncertainty of the future. I feel like I'm starting over, I tell Dr. Harris, like I'm rebuilding my life from scratch. Dr. Harris nods. It's a process. You're grieving the loss of what you thought your life would be. It's important to give yourself time to heal. The sessions are helping. I begin to see glimmers of hope amidst the wreckage. Dr. Harris encourages me to find new activities, new interests, and to connect with people who can support my journey. One evening, I attend a charity event organized by a former colleague. It's a gala held in a lavish ballroom filled with elegant decor and the soft hum of conversation. The room is bustling with well-dressed guests, each absorbed in their own world. I feel out of place, a stranger among the crowd. But as the night progresses, I find myself talking to an interesting woman named Olivia. She's lively, with an infectious energy. Her eyes sparkle with curiosity, and her laughter is genuine. We talk about our lives, our passions, and the challenges we've faced. Sometimes it feels like the world is falling apart, Olivia says, her voice warm. But then you find moments of clarity, of connection. Her words resonate with me. I realize that she's speaking from her own experiences, and her presence is a soothing balm. We exchange phone numbers, and I feel a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, there are new beginnings waiting for me. The next few weeks are a whirlwind. The house sells quickly, and I move into a small modern apartment in the city. It's a fresh start, a blank canvas. I furnish it simply, with clean lines and minimalistic decor. The space feels new and unfamiliar, but it's mine. I continue to see Olivia, and our connection deepens. We share meals, go to the theater, and explore the city together. She's supportive and understanding, and her presence helps me navigate the complexities of my new life. We talk openly about our pasts, our hopes, and our fears. One evening, as we're sitting on my apartment balcony, sipping wine and watching the city lights, Olivia turns to me. "You've been through so much," she says softly, "but I see a strength in you. You're moving forward, and that's incredible. Her words are both comforting and empowering. I realize that Olivia is more than just a distraction. She's a genuine connection. Her support helps me heal and rediscover parts of myself that were buried under the weight of betrayal. As I settle into my new life, I start focusing on my personal goals. I pick up a hobby I've always been interested in, photography. I find solace in capturing the beauty of the world through a lens, finding moments of peace and inspiration in the everyday. The more I immerse myself in photography, the more I feel like I'm reclaiming my identity. I begin to see the world through a new perspective, finding beauty in the details that I once overlooked. One afternoon, I'm walking through a park, my camera in hand. I see a young couple holding hands, their laughter ringing through the air. I take a photograph, capturing a fleeting moment of joy. As I review the image, I realize that I'm no longer just a victim of betrayal. I'm someone who is learning to find happiness again. I continue to build my life, one step at a time. The healing process is ongoing, but I'm optimistic about the future. I have new goals, new connections, and a renewed sense of purpose. I'm no longer defined by the past. I'm moving forward, embracing the possibilities that lie ahead. The journey has been arduous, but I've come out stronger on the other side. I've faced the pain, confronted the truth, and emerged with a sense of clarity and resilience. The road ahead is still uncertain, but I'm ready to navigate it with hope and determination. Months have passed since the trial, but the ripples of the past still affect me. The verdict and the fallout from Emily's betrayal are behind me. Yet lingering echoes and unresolved emotions persist. The apartment is becoming a home, and Olivia is an integral part of my new life. Despite the progress, I know I have unfinished business with Emily. The final court order requires Emily to attend counseling sessions as part of her sentence. I've been monitoring her compliance, and it's clear she's struggling with the process. The initial relief of the trial's end has faded into a gnawing anxiety. I need to know if Emily's genuine about her efforts or if she's merely going through the motions. One afternoon, I receive a phone call from Jessica. "Mark, we need to discuss Emily," she says, her tone serious. "I've received some concerning information." I sit up straight, a wave of unease washing over me. "What kind of information?" "Emily's been seen frequenting a therapist who's known for being less than strict," Jessica explains. "I'm concerned she might not be fully engaging with the counseling." My stomach tightens. "What does this mean?" "It means she might not be facing the full consequences of her actions," Jessica replies. "If she's not following through, it could impact any future legal matters or her obligations to you." I nod, feeling a surge of determination. I need to know more. I want to ensure she's accountable. Jessica agrees to help me dig deeper. Over the next few weeks, we gather information on Emily's therapy sessions and her compliance with the court order. It's a meticulous process, but I'm driven by a need for closure and justice. As I delve into the details, I learn that Emily has been evasive about her sessions. Her attendance is sporadic, and there's no clear evidence of genuine effort on her part. I feel a sense of frustration. Emily seems to be sidestepping the consequences, and it angers me. One evening, I run into Emily at a local coffee shop. She's sitting alone, her expression weary. I take a deep breath and approach her table. "Emily." She looks up, surprise flashing across her face. "Mark, what are you doing here?" "I wanted to talk," I say, my tone firm but controlled. "I've heard you've been less than consistent with your counseling." Emily's face flushes. "That's none of your business." "It is when it affects me," I reply. "You were ordered to complete these sessions. It's part of the settlement." She looks away, her fingers tightening around her coffee cup. "I'm doing my best." "Your best isn't good enough," I counter. "You need to face the consequences of your actions. The trial was just the beginning." Emily's shoulders slump. "I'm trying, Mark. It's not easy." I feel a flicker of sympathy, but it's overshadowed by my need for accountability. Trying isn't enough. You owe it to yourself and to those you've hurt to truly engage in this process. Emily doesn't respond, her silence speaking volumes. I leave the coffee shop with a renewed sense of urgency. I need to ensure Emily follows through with her obligations. Jessica and I continue to monitor the situation. We work with the court to address Emily's non-compliance, filing reports and pushing for stricter enforcement of her counseling requirements. The process is slow and bureaucratic, but we're relentless. Meanwhile, Olivia remains a steadfast presence in my life. Her support is unwavering, and our relationship grows deeper. She's understanding and patient, providing a sense of stability that helps me navigate the tumultuous aftermath of the trial. One night, as we're relaxing at my apartment, Olivia looks at me with concern. "You're still focused on Emily, aren't you?" I nod, feeling the weight of my unresolved issues. I need to make sure she's held accountable. It's not just about justice, it's about closure. Olivia reaches out, her hand brushing mine. "I understand, but don't let it consume you. You've been through so much. You deserve to move forward." Her words resonate, but I still feel compelled to see this through. The need for closure is a powerful drive, one that I can't easily dismiss. As I'm wrestling with my thoughts, I receive an unexpected phone call from Richard, Emily's former lawyer. "Mark, I need to talk to you," he says, his voice urgent. We arrange to meet at a quiet bar. Richard arrives looking tense, his demeanor uncharacteristically serious. "What's this about?" I ask. "I have information that might be of interest to you," Richard says, taking a seat. "It's about Emily's compliance with the counseling." My interest is piqued. "Go on." "Emily's been avoiding her sessions," Richard reveals. "She's been using her therapist as a means to delay addressing the core issues. It's a manipulation of the system." I feel a surge of anger and determination. "So she's still not taking responsibility?" "Exactly," Richard confirms. "I've been keeping track, and it's clear she's not engaging in the therapy as required. If you want to push for stricter measures, I can provide evidence." I thank Richard for the information, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. With this new evidence, Jessica and I intensify our efforts. We present the information to the court, advocating for stricter enforcement of Emily's counseling requirements. The court responds with increased scrutiny. Emily is required to provide detailed reports of her therapy sessions and demonstrate genuine progress. The pressure mounts, and I can see the strain on Emily's face as she struggles to meet the new demands. The ongoing battle takes a toll on me. I'm balancing my own healing with the need for justice. Olivia's support is invaluable, but I remain focused on ensuring Emily's full compliance. The process is draining, but I'm driven by a sense of responsibility and a desire for closure. As the weeks pass, Emily's compliance improves, but it's clear that the process has taken its toll. She's visibly worn, her attempts at sincerity overshadowed by the weight of the court's demands. I see her less frequently, but when I do, her demeanor is a mixture of resignation and defeat. One afternoon, I receive a final report from the court. Emily has completed her counseling requirements, but the process has been arduous. I feel a mixture of relief and exhaustion. The battle for accountability has been long and grueling, but it's come to a conclusion. I meet with Jessica to discuss the final outcome. "Emily has fulfilled her obligations," she says, her tone pragmatic. "It's over now." I nod, feeling a sense of closure. "Thank you for all your help." Jessica offers a reassuring smile. "You did the right thing, Mark. You held her accountable, and that's important." As I leave the meeting, I reflect on the journey. The trial, the follow-up, and the relentless pursuit of justice have all been intense and challenging. But I've faced the pain, fought for what I believe is right, and emerged with a renewed sense of purpose. I head home, my thoughts focused on the future. The past is behind me, and I'm ready to embrace the new chapter of my life. Olivia is by my side, and together we look forward to a future that holds promise and hope. The road to recovery has been long, but I've made significant progress. I've learned to balance my need for justice with the importance of moving forward. The journey has been transformative, and I'm ready to embrace the next phase of my life with optimism and resilience. The final chapter of this tumultuous saga unfolds with a sense of cautious optimism. The trial, the battles, and the quest for closure have all led me to this point. I've fought for justice, confronted betrayal, and navigated the complex aftermath. Now, as I stand on the precipice of a new chapter, I find myself reflecting on how far I've come. It's a bright morning, the sun filtering through the curtains of my apartment. Olivia is still asleep beside me, her presence a comforting constant in my life. I lie awake, tracing the contours of her face as she rests peacefully. The turmoil of the past few months feels like a distant echo, overshadowed by the tranquility of the present. I slip out of bed and head to the kitchen, preparing coffee with a sense of ritual. The aroma fills the apartment, a small but satisfying part of my new routine. I glance at the framed photographs on the wall, each one a testament to the journey I've been on. There's a sense of finality in the air, a feeling that the worst is behind me. As I sip my coffee, I reflect on the months that have passed. The house sale, the legal battles, the emotional roller coaster. All of it seems like a blur. I've rebuilt my life piece by piece, finding solace in the simple pleasures and new beginnings. Olivia stirs and joins me in the kitchen. Her smile is warm and reassuring, a daily reminder of the positive changes in my life. "Good morning," she says, her voice soft and sleepy. "Good morning," I reply, handing her a cup of coffee. "How did you sleep?" "Better now," she says, her eyes meeting mine with genuine affection. "There's something about this place that feels peaceful." I nod, feeling a surge of gratitude. Olivia has been my anchor, guiding me through the storm. Her support has been unwavering, and our relationship has grown stronger with each passing day. We sit together at the kitchen table, discussing our plans for the day. "I thought we could visit the art gallery," Olivia suggests. "It's been a while since we did something like that." The idea is appealing. "Sounds perfect," I agree. "Let's make a day of it." As we prepare to leave, my phone buzzes with a notification. It's a message from Jessica, my attorney. I open it and read the brief note. "Mark, just a quick update. Emily's compliance has been reviewed. Everything is in order." The news brings a sense of closure. Emily has fulfilled her court-ordered obligations, and the legal battle is officially over. I take a deep breath, feeling the weight lift from my shoulders. It's a moment of release, a chance to finally put the past behind me. We head to the art gallery where the atmosphere is vibrant and lively. The space is filled with colorful paintings, each one a testament to creativity and expression. Olivia and I wander through the exhibits, discussing the art and enjoying each other's company. As we stand in front of a striking piece, Olivia turns to me. "You seem more at peace these days." "I am," I admit. "The trial and all the drama are behind me now. It's been a journey, but I'm ready to move forward." Olivia takes my hand, her touch reassuring. "You've come a long way. I'm proud of how you've handled everything." Her words mean a lot. I look around the gallery, absorbing the beauty and serenity. There's a sense of renewal, a feeling that I'm ready to embrace the future with a fresh perspective. We spend the rest of the day exploring the city, savoring meals at quaint cafes, and enjoying simple pleasures. Each moment is a reminder of the joy that exists beyond the turmoil of the past. I'm learning to appreciate the present, to find happiness in the everyday experiences. As evening falls, we return to my apartment, the city lights twinkling outside. Olivia and I sit on the balcony, the cool breeze a welcome contrast to the warmth of the day. We talk about our dreams, our plans for the future, and the life we're building together. "I'm excited about what's ahead," Olivia says, her eyes reflecting the city lights. "There's so much potential for us." I nod, feeling a deep sense of contentment. Me too. The past has been tough, but it's made me appreciate the good things even more. Olivia leans in, her lips brushing mine in a tender kiss. The intimacy is a reminder of the connection we share, a bond forged through trials and triumphs. We sit together in comfortable silence, the night unfolding around us. The story of my journey is one of transformation. From betrayal and legal battles to healing and renewal, I've navigated the complexities of life with resilience and hope. Emily's actions have been a catalyst for change, but they've also led me to a place of growth and understanding. As I look out at the city, I see a future filled with possibilities. The past no longer defines me. Instead, it's a chapter that has shaped who I am and where I'm going. Olivia is a significant part of this new phase, and together we're building a life grounded in mutual support and shared aspirations. The trial is over, the legal battle's concluded, and the emotional healing is ongoing. I'm ready to embrace the next chapter with a sense of optimism and anticipation. The journey has been arduous, but it has led me to a place of clarity and renewal. I take one last look at the cityscape before turning to Olivia. Here's to the future, I say, my voice filled with hope. To the future, Olivia echoes, her smile reflecting the promise of new beginnings. As we sit together, the night sky stretching out before us, I feel a profound sense of peace. The story has reached its resolution, but the journey continues. With a renewed sense of purpose and a deep appreciation for the present, I'm ready to face whatever lies ahead.